99.5 The X.
Well, we're sitting back here in the Artist Tent at Carolina Rebellion, and I'm fortunate enough to be sitting next to William DuVall, lead singer of Alice in Chains. Thank you so much for giving me your time today.
Yeah, man. Thanks. Yeah.
Now, how's the tour going? I mean, you have 2 albums under your belt with Alice in Chains, and I'm sure, I don't want to speak for you, but I'm sure you're more comfortable now than ever.
I mean, it's definitely better to have 2 under your belt, and so far tour's going great. We're still finding our rhythm out here. We were off for a while, so it's a shock to the system at first, especially for me. There's everything I got to do out there, but a lot of it you jump back into, and it's sense memory, and the rest kind of comes with time and repetition.
Well, I'm sure, and the albums, the last album, you have a new one on the way, but the last album, Black Gives Way to Blue, if that's any indicator, you have put a lot of time and a lot of energy rather than just coming in. As similar as your voice is to Lane Staley, as similar as it is, you've put your own flair on it, and I'm sure that may have been a hurdle to overcome.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing about this is all I could do from day one is be myself, be who I am. I think a lot of the similarities that one would hear between this incarnation of the band and the one with Lane is largely due to the sort of musical construct of it, I mean, this band uses similar harmonies. It's got a sonic signature. And, in a way, that provides enough of the ID, to make it sound like Alice. But as far as I'm concerned personally, there's actually a lot of differences between my voice and Lane's.
Well, absolutely.
He was really great in his own way, and it would do nothing but do a disservice to him and to the fans and to myself to be anything other than who I am. So,
absolutely.
So yeah, it's been a process, and it's still kind of unfolding, But like you said, we're 2 albums in now.
Now, I'm curious on the new album coming out late May. If I'm not mistaken, it's going to have the title "The Devil Put Dinosaurs Here."
Yeah, that's right.
How did you come up with this title?
Well, it's a song on the album, and the song is basically kind of about it's taking a sort of a semi-humorous yet semi-serious jab at intolerance, and kind of willful ignorance, and kind of the salesmanship of the salesmanship that goes with sort of trying to put one's point of view over on someone else,
Yeah. Imposing on others your own view.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of that. We see a lot of that these days, certainly. With a lot of whether it's religious fundamentalism or deciding who's going to have whether certain groups of people are going to have equal protection under the law, whether certain people can get married or not, whether how much decision-making power women have over their own reproductive system. We're seeing these kinds of things happen in many walks of life right now, and I think the decision to make that song the title song of the album, there was a lot of discussion about that.
Why dinosaurs, though? Why dinosaurs?
The joke is that, I shouldn't say the joke. There is a belief among some people that dinosaur bones and carbon dating and all of that is a hoax, and that when you confront certain people who have this belief with the science of evolution or the science of whatever, they will tell you that, the devil put the dinosaur bones in the ground to fool us, because the Earth's only 6,000 years old. So the title of the song is literally a riff on that.
That's interesting.
But of course the broader, it's addressing a much broader issue.
The willful ignorance, as you stated.
Right.
Now, I have a totally random and obscure question here, but have you seen the internet meme of Alice from the Brady Bunch in chains?
Yeah, I think I have. Yeah. Uh huh.
Did you guys do that?
No. No.
Is there anything you guys do to kill the time or have fun online or interacting with your fans?
You know, I have a Facebook and a Twitter page, mostly because you know, I had to deal with you know, fakers coming on there as me, and unlike some of my peers, my colleagues, my response to that was to just do one. You know what I mean? Like that's my thing, is I'm going to do one, and it's going to really be me. It's going to be controlled by me. You know, I mean, there's people that can help me with it when I need it, but I didn't want any fakes out there without having something real represented. And you know, it's kind of a necessary, some might say a necessary evil or whatever, but it to me, it's just sort of like, well, it's the world we live in, you know, and it's better to have this stuff and use it, to me, you know.
Yeah, and it's a great way to stay connected, and it's immediate, although that can get you in trouble sometimes.
Well, that's the thing. It's exactly, it's a double-edged sword, like everything in life, like every major development in life, you know, or in technology. It's going to come with a lot of cons, you know.
Now, what do you geek out on? When I say that, I mean, it's like I'm being and working in radio, I'm always looking at new technology. We're recording this on my phone. The great, you know, it's interesting, and I geek out on this. I'll spend hours doing stuff like this. When you're not on stage, when you're not singing or writing music, what is it that you geek out on?
Oh man, gosh, I geek out on. Well, you know, it's weird. I do geek out on like musical gear, guitars, and things like that. Like I'm pretty heavy geek when it comes to that. You know, I'm always fascinated by, you know, that 61, the Gibson SG Les Paul had this bridge on it, and then in 62, early 60, you know, I'm that weirdo, you know what I mean? And you know, I love movies. You know, I geek out on that, and on like you know, on my favorite artists as well. Like I'm one of those people. Even when I was like 5, you know, my favorite superhero was Batman, and I had to know everything. You know.
What do you know about Batman that most don't?
Oh my God! Nowadays, probably not much, because you know it's kind of had this amazing resurgence in the popular culture that's just much huger than it ever was when I was, you know, a little kid. But there's probably not much I know. But I always loved the earliest Batmans from the late 30s and early 40s, the very early 40s, because much like in the movies now, Batman originally was perceived as more of a scourge. He was not, the police were not his friend. They hated him. They thought that he was usually responsible for the crimes that were being committed. And when he was trying to help, they would shoot at him faster than they'd shoot at the criminal, you know. And I loved that. And for a long time, that was not part of the sort of Batman lore, you know, in the TV series, you know, from the 60s and stuff. It was more of a comical thing. So I'm glad to see in the movies that they brought back the kind of earlier viciousness and darkness.
What's interesting in bringing up that character and your draw to it and what you like about it, juxtaposed against the album and the willful ignorance, you have these two dynamics of what best represents you is William DuVall, lead singer of Alice in Chains. It's
interesting.
I really appreciate the conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thanks for talking. And, you know, get ready to get on stage now.
Hell yeah.